Hi guys, welcome back to Sunday League to Champions League. My name is Chris, aka Big Will, and today we have two extremely tough Champions League fixtures against Manchester City and Tottenham. Going into today's matches, form continues to be pretty good. We did lose, we managed a 2-0 win away against Köln, but we did lose 1-0 at home against Dortmund. And again, overall, we were quite unlucky to be honest. It was a very even game, and we could have done a little bit better. And Reina's goal at the end of the match was a really good one as well. So again, we were quite unfortunate, but as you can see, all of our front three just didn't perform, and unfortunately, that was the telling difference. We had a really good friendly win against AZ in the Christmas break, and then we came away against Hertha Berlin. This was one of the most frustrating games I think I've actually played. They had one attempt at goal. Oh, it actually ended up, they had two attempts at goal, but they had one attempt and scored it from a corner. The other attempt was right at the end of the match. And as you can see, we absolutely dominated proceedings, but we just couldn't find the back of the net, and it was extremely annoying. But we have ended our run of defeats against Frankfurt. We managed a 5-0 win at home, and goals from Opacic, two for Chavlina, one for Katanga, and one for Eamon Carrot, all in the first half, certainly sorted us right out. In terms of the transfer window so far, there's a lot going on, but at the same time, there's not a lot going on. It's been a bit of a strange one. Kariotis did come in on loan from Bayern Munich, which we sorted out earlier in the window, and we've actually loaned out a few players as well. So Fabian Mugan, the young defender that we brought in from Real Madrid, he's gone out on loan to Strasbourg until the end of the season for a £1.4 million loan fee. Degenhardt's gone out on loan to Paderborn, and Yuri Havel has gone out on loan to Southampton as well, largely just to give him a bit more regular game time, hopefully. And we are a little bit short in certain areas of the squad. Luca Dressel looks like he's going to be leaving. We've not received any concrete offers for Manu Kone or for Chavlina, who also wants to leave, of course. We want £100 million for him, and it's more than fair. Yes, we only signed him for four. The only team that are looking that they might bid is Leipzig, and I don't want to sell him to another team in our division, as you can imagine. Fran Garcia has now requested to leave again. Well, I say again, he was unhappy at the club previously, but now he does want to leave to go back to Spain. Um, he basically came and said, "Look, I'm missing home and I want to leave the club." So he will be leaving as well, should we get a decent bidding for him. We are looking at doing one bit of transfer business at the moment. We've got a number of players on the shortlist, as you can see. Mirza Tukic from Crvena Zvezda. He'd be the third player we've actually signed from them, believe it or not. But he can play at centre back and central midfield, holding midfield as well. 2.5 star of current ability, and he has got that potential to really improve. I really like him, to be honest. Yes, his physicals do need a bit of work, but he's a very determined character, really good positional play as well, with good teamwork, decent passing ability as well, and good heading ability. So he will be a danger from those set pieces potentially, and with good technique as well with a first touch. I think it's a bit of a no-brainer, and he's only 18 years of age, so at £6 million, he could be coming in very soon. Just the one change to the starting lineup for this Manchester City game. Ornelas is going to start ahead of Manu Kone by the looks of things. Um, I mean, Manu Kone is fully fit, so I think that's a bit of a strange move. But Ornelas, it does link well with Catella and Carry anyway, so hopefully that will continue today. Casper Nilsson seems to be settling back into the side. He's yet to score, but he is gradually working his way back to full fitness, so hopefully he can do well for us today. And Chavlina, finally, we're getting him back up front. Hopefully he can do some damage for us. I'm not expecting anything from these two matches, to be honest, against City and Tottenham. It's going to be an extremely tough pair of games, and I'm expecting defeats, I will be honest. And you look at that Manchester City side, Rico Lewis is still there, Gvardiol. They've actually brought in Bayeth, who we had on loan, of course, season before last. Jude Bellingham, they have Foden and Haaland as well. They've still got Doku, he's on the bench. And amongst one or two others, Curtis Jones is there as well. Callum Doyle, I think, I recognise that name as well. So we're in for a tough time of it, I think, today. If we can get some kind of a result here at the Etihad, it will be an unbelievable result. And again, I don't know what's going on with my game at the moment, but I've still not managed to sort out what's going on with with no fans in the ground. I'm not too sure why that's happening, but it is what it is. It isn't distracting too much from the matches themselves at the moment. Here's Gvardiol into Jude Bellingham. Frank Garcia couldn't win the challenge, and Ben Seguir coming in off this right hand side plays it across, and it's ended up as a goal for Haaland. It was a big error there from Katenga. He tried to clear and it just hit Haaland, but as is the way with most things, what hits him turns to goals, doesn't it? So not the ideal start by any means, and we find ourselves a goal behind after just 3 minutes. And in terms of the actual league table, we'll just get it up here momentarily. Oh, great. Opicic is injured, potential foot injury. That's all we needed. Nenan Stupar is going to have to come on for him. Right, league table. So we're sat in 15th at the moment, even with getting beat. So it's something we are going to have to keep an eye on, of course, because we could end up going out of the competition entirely if we suffer defeats against both City and Tottenham. But at the same time, we could still get into the playoff phase, which would be a nice little add-on. Haaland into Foden. He's under pressure, but he does what Foden does best and smashes it into the top corner. And it's 2-0. And like I suspected, we are severely being outplayed today. Obviously, the early error from Katenga didn't help matters, but 2 attempts at goal and 2 goals scored from Manchester City so far. Foden to Samardzic. Back into Foden, and we've given them the space, and there is the third, and it's Haaland again. I'm really hoping this isn't going to turn into an absolute rout, but it's certainly looking like it will do. Manchester City, of course, looking to strengthen their resolve and completely qualify themselves. Still sitting 16th. I'll have to, when Manchester City stop attacking us, I'll have to have a I'll have to have a little look and see exactly how it shapes up with the Champions League table. Samardzic into Haaland and now Jude Bellingham. I mean, there's so much space. They completely. Oh, it's an own goal. That's twice that we've done that, and it's Ornelas with the own goal. I mean, it's unlucky because he's challenged Bellingham well there, but it's ended up as an own goal. And yeah, we are getting taught a big lesson here. Right, I'm just going to pause there for a minute. So, looking at this at the moment, obviously the teams behind us could have still got to play as well. So, we're sat in 16th, 10 points. I mean, it's going to be really close, I think. We could end up just not qualifying at all, which isn't ideal. But with a game like Tottenham to come as well, we're going to do really well, I think. Here is Jeremy Doku swinging it in, and Arguello Baez with the header just over the bar. And we're going to demand more from the side. Personally, I'm happy just not to concede any more goals. But, you know, if we showed a little bit of guile and got a goal today, it'd be quite nice. We are going to have to make some changes, though. I mean, at the end of the day, we have lost this game already. So Katenga is going to come off, and we're going to give Luca Dressel a potential last game for the club. Delphi Catala's absolutely shattered. We'll get him off, and we'll also get Lewis Miley on in the midfield as well, and drop him and carry back there. Casper Nilsson can come off for Kariotis, and that'll do us. To be honest, with 20 minutes to go, Catala's actually taken a knock, and like I say, we will be taking him off in a moment. Here's Curtis Jones into Perez. Manchester City, obviously, feeling that the game is done themselves, and it's swung into the far post. Katenga actually did really well to win that header. Casper Nilsson just about keeping it in. Hasn't got a lot of support, but lays it back to Anastasov. And now Katenga. Casper Nilsson into Chavlina. Still trying to work it down this right hand side. Katenga does pick it up again and again tries to lay it off for Chavlina. Ornelas wins the header. Eamon Carrick just about keeping hold of possession. And we're working extremely hard here just to try and work an opportunity. Fran Garcia managing to get down this left-hand side, swings the cross in, and Casper Nilsson, I mean, from that far out, he's got to at least be hitting the target. I mean, it's good that he's tried there, but a 5.9 today from Casper Nilsson, and Shea Roddy is not far behind him on a 5.9. Anastasov with a 6.1. Chavlin is now down to a 6 as well. you can't have poor performances against Manchester City because this is what they can do. And if we want to get into this playoff round, we're going to have to perform a lot better when it comes to the Tottenham game. Shavlina here back to aim and carry. And, I mean, a completely targetless ball, really. Luca Dressel into Kariotis. Back to Dressel. I mean, it's a nice pass into Kariotis again. Lewis Miley does find Shavlina, and he's got his goal. Poor defending, really, from Arguello Baez, in my opinion. He should have intercepted that one for City, but I'm glad we've got a goal at least. We've shown at least a little something. Lewis Miley with the assist, and yeah, not too sure why Baez did leave that, but Shavlina with a good finish nonetheless. And at 4-1, we're not exactly getting back into it, but City can very easily turn up the pressure again. And Bellingham straight away just charging forward and finding Perez. We've just got a goal back. And Arguello Baez loses out to Nenad Stupa. Oh, my word. That's the third time now we've just offered a chance to Haaland, and he scored the previous two. Stupa passing it straight to him. And I think the pressure's just got a bit too much for some of these young players today. And Jeremy Doku with the strike, and Hind did well to tip it over the crossbar. I mean, he's at 6.5 despite conceding 4 goals, so you can tell exactly how hard it's been today. Perez swings it in. We do manage to just about get it clear for all of 10 seconds. Chavlina doing well to head it away, and we just about survived that opportunity. And again, free kick, Uatara to take. Just holds on to it, flicks it back to Gavardio. Uatara into Arguello Baez, and now Bellingham, and now Jeremy Doku in behind Dressel, and there's number 5. And it's been coming. This is the problem, and we cannot compete at this level against sides like Manchester City. We just can't. We're not good enough at all. We've got some really good quality players, don't get me wrong, but we are nowhere near the standard of these big, big clubs. I'm hoping it won't be too much of a kick in the teeth for some of the boys. We were the underdogs. You gave it your best. I don't think so. We were extremely poor there today. We didn't give good account of ourselves at all. Yes, we scored, but it's not enough. Obviously, there's a lot of games to be played still, and we could end up going into a game against Tottenham needing to win. But that was a heavy, heavy defeat. Opicic is out for 3 to 4 weeks. Not ideal. Katala is out for a week. Not ideal. And it could mean that, well, both of them will miss the Tottenham game, which is absolutely dreadful. We've got Leverkusen between. So obviously that's going to be played off camera, and then we'll come back for the game against Tottenham, and hopefully we can just show a little bit of something different, because that was absolutely appalling, and we need to be better than that if we're going to progress here at the club. Okay then, guys, here we go for the game at home against Tottenham. It's all to play for, basically. We need a result today to make sure that we qualify for the playoff round. From my point of view, I think it's going to be more important to refocus just on the league. I wouldn't be happy, obviously, but I think in the grand scheme of things, if we got knocked out of the Champions League, I think we'd be in in a bit of a better position. We drew 0-0 away at Leverkusen. Again, we continue to struggle to find a win against them. And like I say, going into this game against Tottenham, with the Champions League table the way it is, we could end up not qualifying. Ajax have played their 8 games, as have Monaco. So Monaco couldn't catch us anyway, but Ajax could have. Um, so if AZ win and we lose, depending on what happens in the games for Rennes and Dortmund, we could actually qualify without needing to win today. I can't believe Dortmund are doing so badly. I would have expected them to do a lot better than they have. Obviously, a number of teams have qualified for the playoffs, but it's still all to play for. If Manchester City win, then AC Milan will definitely be in the playoffs. Real Madrid and Bayern Munich haven't even qualified in that top 8 as of yet. Red Bull Salzburg, what a fantastic season they've had in the tournament, along with Roma and Newcastle. So we're having to rotate. Mirza Tukic has signed £6 million deal. Um, we've not been able to sell anybody really. Luka Dressel was leaving on a free transfer. We managed to bring that forward and sell him for £50,000. But unfortunately, the injuries are coming thick and fast. Kone is out injured for up to 4 weeks, so he won't be getting sold now. Lewis Miley is out for another couple of weeks, I think. Opicic is still out for a couple of weeks, and Stupar pulled his calf muscle against Leverkusen. He'll be out for a couple of weeks now as well. So it leaves us extremely short at the minute, but we are still trying to sell players as well. Tom Gall and Reitz both want to leave, so it'll be the second time we've sold Reitz if we get a bid in for them. Again, they were our homegrown at club players that we decided to bring in on free transfers. They're not playing. They want to leave. Fair enough. There's not really an awful lot I can do about it. So yeah, we know what we have to do going into this game. If we can get any kind of result, it would be great. And then we go into the playoff. If not, and we go out, it's not the end of the world. We're currently sat, I think, fifth or sixth in the Bundesliga table. There's about 4, 5 teams all fighting it out, and there's only a couple of points between all of us in the chase behind Bayern Munich and Dortmund. Fran Garcia's picked up a knock already, which isn't ideal. That could be another one to potentially add to the injury list. There's Julius Alma there. Controlled it quite well, to be fair, the strike, but unfortunately it went over the crossbar. But we are dominating proceedings early on here. But again, in front of goal, we just seem to be having a little bit of a lull at the minute. We did superbly against Frankfurt, like I say, but obviously against Manchester City, we were severely outplayed. And obviously when it came to Leverkusen, we just couldn't find the back of the net. Here is Silva down this right-hand side here, finding Ferdy. Now Verts inside to Silva. Fran Garcia did well to clear, but Udogi into shoulder up, who turns well and gets the strike away and knocks it into the bottom corner. Tottenham's first shot at goal comes and ends in a goal. We have failed to score after, what, 8 attempts and 7 attempts, 3 on target. Their first shot goes in. And this is the kind of story we've been facing in recent matches. We've been a little bit unlucky, and it is a little bit of a growing concern because obviously our key striker, Chavlina, he wants to leave the club as well. So it's proving to be a bit of a tough time for us, considering we've ended up with a number of players unhappy at the club. Silva swinging that in. It's a good clearance. Oh, my word. I mean, the fact that he scored from there is ridiculous in itself, but we did the job defensively, and he's just hit it first time on the half volley. We couldn't set ourselves, and it's 2-0. I mean, again, not a good outcome for that. So we're looking at Rennes. Well, I mean, Rennes are still in the playoffs, so we're looking at RZ today, and I'm not entirely sure if they've already played or not. We'll have to have a look at the latest scores momentarily. Um, Second half, I mean, the thing is, we've not played too badly. We've been the better side, in fact, but Tottenham have had 2 shots on target and scored them both. AZ are actually losing 1-0 to Dortmund at the moment, so by the looks of it, Dortmund could be keeping us in the tournament as it stands. We're going to have to make some changes. We've got injuries again. Jan Martins is going to come on in there. Julius Alma's struggling. We've got no one that can play in that position at the moment. Casper Nilsson's going to have to come on. We'll switch the front 3 round a little bit. Ornelas is struggling. Rocco Reitz is going to have to come on for him. Gerald Kwanzaa's our new vice captain as well, by the way. We've stripped it from Fran Garcia just because he wants to leave the club. And he's not complained about it at all. So we are in a bit of a better position where that's concerned. We're going to get Kwanzaa on, in fact. Katenga, not struggling for fitness, but he's having a poor game. And we will just continue on from there. And I mean, we don't deserve to get beat today. Like I say, and this happened in the game against Hertha Berlin when we drew 1-1. We absolutely battered them, but couldn't find the back of the net. And it's going to be a similar story here today, which is quite annoying, but there's not a lot we can do about it. Chavlina is struggling. He's going to come off for Mania. And there's not a lot more we can do. The fact that Catala's had to play a full 90 minutes today isn't ideal either, but it is what it is. And we've been beaten, but I think we've still managed to qualify. 2 shots on target, Tottenham had, showed up, scored them both. We absolutely deserve to win that game. Frustration, to say the least. And I think because we've got players that want to leave, it's proving to be a little bit problematic in terms of dynamics. If players do leave, we've got the opportunity to sign players in. And I've got players in mind that I do want to bring in. But in terms of necessary quality, might not be as good. So we've got to be extremely careful. And we have qualified for that playoff round. I'm not entirely sure when exactly the draw is done. I don't think we're going to be there just yet. Yeah, so it's actually done after, when the transfer window's finished. So we've got a little bit to get through, and the playoff is going to be uh, not too far in the future, in fact. So I think, to be quite honest, looking at it in terms of the scale of the fixtures, we'll probably come back after the Champions League playoff round. We'll come back for Leipzig and Stuttgart. They're very key league games. If we get through in that playoff in the Champions League, then fantastic. If not, I'm not too fussed. We need to focus on qualifying again for next season. But we've got some tough games to come. Hopefully, we can find a little bit of maintenance in our form because, like I say, we sat in sixth. It's a comfortable sixth at the moment, ahead of Leverkusen. We're 8 points clear of them. But as you can see, there's only 1 point separating us with Stuttgart, Leipzig, and Köln. So them 2 games against those 2 sides that we've got coming up are massive. And with 10 points behind, realistically, we're not going to catch Bayern Munich and Dortmund now. They just don't lose games. So it's going to be tough. If we can get Champions League finish again, it would be great. But we need to evaluate and see exactly how far we can go with Mönchengladbach because we've got limited resources and we'll have to see what happens going on. So until next time, guys, thank you very much for your support. Please like and subscribe to the channel. It is all greatly appreciated. I will see you all next time. This is Big Will, signing away.